Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're focusing on something really powerful, human resilience, specifically how people cope and connect after devastating natural disasters like floods. We're drawing from excerpts from Rising Waters, Resilient Hearts. It tells the story of Rohan, a farmer, and his village. Our goal here is to really uncover how communities find strength, that connection, even when faced with total destruction. So the source material, it really just throws us right in. The flood hits hard. You've got these stormy skies, just pouring rain, and the river, it's swelling incredibly fast.
Yeah, terrifyingly fast. And Rohan's hut, this small place, is right there by the water, basically on the brink.
Exactly. So he and his family, they have to escape on this makeshift raft. And they're watching their home, their belongings, just get swept away. The whole village going under.
And the sounds described are just chaos. Crashing trees, roofs splintering.
And cries for help. Just immediate, overwhelming terror, really.
Right. And what hits you next is how quickly the scale of it all just swamps the official aid efforts. The government, relief groups, they try to respond, but the need is just massive. It's almost impossible.
So Rohan's family, like so many others.
Yeah, they end up in these relief camps, overcrowded, lacking basic things like clean water, food. It led to illness, obviously, but also this deep sense of hopelessness. It's described as just hanging in the air.
You can imagine. Days turn into weeks.
And this profound uncertainty sets in. Will they ever rebuild? What does the future even look like? You really wonder what that feels like, that community tipping point.
Right, when it seems like all hope is gone. But this is where the story shifts, doesn't it? Amidst all that despair, the source shows this incredible turning point. It wasn't about waiting for help from outside.
No, it really wasn't.
It became about neighbors helping neighbors, sharing the little they had left.
Exactly. And Rohan's family found real comfort, not just from, the limited formal aid, but from the kindness of strangers. People who became friends became like family, really.
A lifeline. Sharing stories, supporting each other, finding strength together. What do you think really sparked that shift towards working together instead of just, individual survival?
Well, the source seems to suggest it's that shared vulnerability. When everyone loses everything together, those normal social barriers, they kind of just dissolve. Shared trauma creates this almost instant social glue.
Makes sense.
And building on that new unity, then comes the next huge challenge, the aftermath. The waters go down and the devastation is just, staggering. Homes gone, crops ruined, roads, bridges, everything damaged.
Total ruin.
But then there's that phrase, a glimmer of hope. And it wasn't just one person, it was the community pulling together, using their skills, whatever resources they could find, pooling them.
To physically rebuild. Not just houses, but their lives, their village.
Reweaving the fabric of their society, you could say.
That's powerful. But the source frames it as quite unified. Were there hints of challenges within the community itself during that rebuilding? Disagreements, maybe.
The main focus is definitely the resilience, yeah. But it hints, that it wasn't perfectly smooth. There were ongoing struggles. Scarcity is a huge pressure, the sheer size of the task.
Yeah.
But interestingly, it seems those external pressures often made them more determined to cooperate internally.
Reinforcing the unity.
Right. So Rohan's personal story becomes sort of universal for the village. The flood was horrific, yes, but it ultimately forged deeper bonds. They came out of it not just having survived, but stronger, more connected, maybe even better prepared for whatever comes next because they learned the power of that human connection. So if you boil it down, the real insight here isn't just about bouncing back. True resilience, according to this story, is about using that hardship, that adversity, to actively build stronger relationships, a more tightly knit community.
That's a really key takeaway. It makes you think that. Considering how that terrible adversity created such strong bonds in Rohan's village, how can we, in our own lives, intentionally build that same deep sense of community and support, even when we're not facing a crisis? Something to mull over, isn't it?